So this is Santa Rosa Mall in Mary Astor. And this used to be a banging place, but I remember when my daughter's daddy worked at Sears over here, and we used to come down with a baby stroller and spend most of the day hanging out. Just me and the baby. We had a blast playing in the arcade and everything else. She was about 4 weeks old then. So I guess this guy's stupid and blind. Damn. Get off the phone. And this side over here was the old Sears, which is now a storage company. Ooh, let me see if I can get this going right. And I think that entrance right there was the auto entrance. There's got to be a ton of asbestos in my building. I'll tell you, I had storage over there. There's always stuff, white stuff that used to be like all over my things, and you had to sweep it all the time. And then this would have been the back of the Sears, which they just tore down that big overhang, that big component over here. And see the loading dock there for the Sears store to the right, and then those garage things, and then the overhang, you can see where it's missing. It's black to one side and gray to the other on the right side of where it says, well, in between those two entrances. There was a big overhang. They just tore that down just a couple months ago. And that was all the Sears. This storage company buys a lot of storages around the States. And they bought, not the parking lot, but they bought the interior of that section of the mall. I would love to have this place right here. This was a dinner house right here to the right. And the inside of that's awesome. It would make a great store or a restaurant either way, but probably cost a mint to update it all. And then they cut part of the mall off and built this big apartment complex. And then they leased this other side over here to a church that closed. And how do I know it closed? Because they had all the stuff in a storage that I knew about, and then I guess they abandoned it. And my scrap friend was the one that hauled most all the chairs to the scrapyard when those could have been sold. I mean, thousands of dollars selling them, even if you sold them, $10 each. And they were real nice chairs. This Emerald Coast Worship Center. They probably wrote that off as a tax write-off to let them lease that. And there were dumpsters out here this whole year, out here on the sidewalk, for stuff they were emptying out. Problem is that most all the key stores are gone. When Sears left, and then JCPenney left, just like a year ago. I know because I bought some mannequins out of the JCPenney. Got some really cool deals over there. And this is a trampoline park across the way. The theater, I don't know what they're doing with the theater. That black car's been out there for days. But their other theater's now closed over by the grocery store. But the Dillards is still in existence, but my daughter and I went in there a few times and there were really snot balls in there. They were such snot balls that I called management. It was really rude. And so there's a truck over here. Pivot Sports. I don't even know if that still exists in there. There's not many stores in there, but the rent is dirt cheap. They offered me $600 a few years ago to bring the trains and get a storefront for the trains. And they were begging to have the train come back. But there's a big truck right here. And they're loading in. That's right. There's another truck over here at the loading dock. Which this is all the JCPenney side. They are actively working here. Big truck. It just had somebody stopped in the parking lot at the gym that they were flying 2 different tags. You can't do that. They had one state tag on the front, one state tag on the back, and I don't know what they were doing, but looked like old Sheriff Lincoln over there for a while. But I guess the car lots moved most of their cars out where the new management company told them they had to go, because I don't see a lot of cars. This is usually all full over here. I know they've leased 3/4 of this parking lot to the car dealerships because it's just been covered with new cars. I wouldn't have left them over here. Okay, and then this is the front of the JCPenney. Let's see, I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's boxes that say boat, B-O-T-E, which is a, they do like kayaks and paddle boards and floating temporary docks and stuff like that. And, which, you know, if they had just put a sporting goods store in there, you know, like the one at DC at Destin Commons, or the new one they're building, Dick's Blick or whatever it is, they'd have made bank if they'd have put the sporting goods right here. Because this mall is just about deceased. It's so sad. This place, you couldn't even afford to rent here. Management was so sucky. The rent was so high. I had friends that leased here and had retail stores. I had a friend of mine that had a retail children's store. And she was constantly going round and round with them all. Just constant. And the rent was just unreal. Because I had considered opening a store back then. And we had like a big 5-bedroom joint. I don't know. A retired farm out in the defunct area back then. And see, there's a little bit left from one car lot over here. The trade-in's gone on the other side, and then this is the new stuff. And like the week before was all white police cars. Now you got like, there's one police car over there. That camper's been there. I believe it's a trade-in, either that or somebody's living in it. But it's been sitting in the same exact space. If you're boondocking, you don't hang out in the same place. Rule 1. Not right. But yeah, so Um, and Rosa Mall is maybe going to have some hope. Beautiful mall. Used to be something, way back. Uh, it was so busy. The parking, the cars, it was just unreal. And it was fun. And, if you could catch something on sale, the prices were always high. If you could catch something on sale, it was fun. And we went to the big Sears sale, and we got Pop a real nice stove, and they delivered it. George had his discount and everything. It was pretty cool. But, yeah, I don't know. The other businesses here, like the Starbucks, is always banging. Unlimited baby is 59 cents a day. Where is that? Earth you were doing. People spend so much time playing on the phone instead of driving the car. Drive the car, man. This is what you need to do. Over here, across the street from the mall, they've got the Armed Forces Career Center, Little Caesars, Dollar General, and Piggly Wiggly. And this store actually, I used to work for Piggly Wiggly. I was a front-end manager for several years. And I left there to work at casinos. Ha ha ha. Paid bank. Drug about everybody I worked with out of there to the casinos to work because the money was horrendous. And they ended up selling the store off. And I love the guy that originally owned that Piggly Wiggly. He was awesome. And Food Giant took it over, and they were kind of jerks. And I went back and drug all my friends out of there to some really good new jobs, paying about 3 to 4 times the price of what they were making. I think that brick building, somebody told me that's a poor people's housing place or something. And then they have several of them around here. That gray building over there is that secondhand store where that girl from the Carolinas or Virginia, wherever she's from, I think it was West Virginia, that she opened that, and it's all on donation. She doesn't buy nothing, but her price is ridiculous high. And this is the Piggly Wiggly, and a friend of mine's wife brought me over here, and I'm like, God, this store is a dirty old dump. But apparently this is the place to go to buy your groceries because it's really reasonable. This was the place to get meat, everything. Now meat's just so grotesque high, it's horrible. But that's a good little store there. They've cleaned it up a lot since the first time I went in there several years back, about 5 years ago. My friends, I can't think of his name. I've known him forever in the clubs, but they moved to Tennessee. She was a kook. He met her as a checker at the grocery store, and then somehow or another she conned him into marrying him. And he's got all that military retirement and all that stuff. He makes bank, and he was an old real estate broker. And Larson, I think his name's Larson. They called him Larson. And then she's a real coconut head. This girl's cuckoo. But they used to rent stuff by, like 1, 2, or 3 months over on the island for about $1,000 a month. And I stayed with them when they were at one of their places. I would go back and forth and go stay with them, a few days, a week, 2 weeks, whatever. And I would have liked to brought my daughter down there, but this chick was kind of kooky. And I tried to help her. She was making jewelry and stuff, just tons of it, never selling it. And she, I told her, I said, you need to start a website, you need to name the jewelry, name your company. You know, if you're just going to have boatloads of this jewelry, I mean, she just had all this stuff and kept buying stuff. And she just had piles of all this jewelry she made. She didn't even know what it was worth. You know, she wasn't pricing the beads or anything or what it cost her to make one bracelet or. And so I helped her a while back, and I said, well, I would just name it Smiles Jewelry or something like that, because she, you know, used to smile a lot when she was half human. Um, she was like a strange character. And uh, and then I took a lot of it in the clubs and sold it, and hell, I was selling more of the jewelry than I was my costumes. At one point, the girls would just go crazy over her creations. Probably because it was so underpriced. Because I've looked at buying those beads here and there, and that stuff's expensive. You know, some of that stuff's like $10 a bead and stuff. And but he was just glad that some of it was getting sold, because she spent, you know, money like every day shopping in the art stores, buying, you know, $200, $300, $400 worth of bead stuff. And uh, you know, he was like, there's nothing coming of this. He said, I appreciate she has a hobby, but he said it's just sitting there. And I'm like, yeah. And I mean, she did a good job making this stuff. She really knew how to make jewelry. Um, and really pretty stuff. You know, but I helped her for a while, and then she got just really strange. And but they were renting places 1, 2, 3 months at a time over on the island, like $1,000 a month. And I mean, he had the money and stuff, so you know. And nobody ever refused him. Everybody knew him. And he's just been around the clubs forever. He comes out, he's like Mr. 70s. He comes out with a blazer and a turtleneck and, you know, a silk kerchief in the pocket. And, you know, the whole deal is really funny. And he's out tipping the girls 20s and 50s and 100s and buying. He'd rather buy you beverage than even tip you. But just a funny character, talks about buying this, talks about buying that. Hey. And I heard they had moved to Tennessee. I think her mother lived in Tennessee, and a lot of times her mother would come down and hang out for a little bit, and he didn't like that too good. So I don't know what's happened, but I guess they've gone to Tennessee. So I don't know. I didn't hear anything about how the mother had a really expensive house or anything like that. But because his wife was kind of, you know, country. You know, some people call it hillbilly, but kind of country. And much different than Larson. Larson was very proper, very business. Um, but they may have moved back to take care of the mother or something. So I just can't imagine Larson leaving Florida. He's just been here forever and ever and ever. One of the biggest real estate brokers was around for years. But he had a little trouble with the drunk driving scene. And he lost his license. I don't know when he did. There was something about, I think he was, you know, wicked drunk and drove through the airport, stone drunk, and drove the car up over ramps or whatever. And I think that he was telling me some of the story in one time, and I think they'd arrested him over at the airport, Wilkins Airport, drunk driving like a fool or something. And I don't know that he would ever get his driver's license back, actually. He seemed to not care too much about it. But yeah, so I don't know. Funny cat that guy was. Just funny guy. You didn't know what to believe what he said. He was interesting. You just didn't know what to believe. But let's see who's up on here. I can't pull up the messages. Oh. But anyway, so yeah, I miss old Larson. Larson character. Just funny. He may not even be around anymore. Because the last time I saw him was, gosh, after the Green Frog had closed, so it's probably a couple years. And it's before the pandemic, so probably about 3 years, I guess, since I've seen him. She went kind of kooky. And I didn't want to mess with her anymore. She was just weird. Too much babysitting for me. I just can't do it. You know, you're a grown person, babysit yourself. Yep. Boy, it's already hot. I got to tell you, it is just hot. But anyway, I gotta start remembering to put the members only mode thing on, or subs only mode, because I forgot about that. And I had some weird trash come on my live the other day. And if I'd have had that subs only mode on, it would have stopped a lot of that. I hope the YouTube pop up about the channel. How do you do the subs only mode? Ooh, 80s there. Okay, when you do it on your phone, the part on my phone now, I don't do iPhone because I'm not going to have the government own me and read my phone for all my life, and not like I'm doing anything illegal, but I just don't appreciate it. They could pay for my info, you know. So I'm not an iPhone person. You don't know where that crap goes to. You don't know where the cloud is supposed to be at. And I did the cloud one time and then couldn't get in it. And I'm like, oh crap, all my stuff's locked up on there. So one, I don't have iPhone. And what you do is when you set up your YouTube live on your phone, and you can do it on a computer too, and you can do it while you're in live mode. You can do it while you are in live mode on the computer. But you go, if you're doing it on the phone, when you go to set up your live and you turn on the mod on the last page where it says turn on chat, turn on monetization, in the middle there's one that says sub only mode. Now don't get that confused with members only mode, because members only mode is for people that have memberships to your channel. And so if you want to lock everybody out but members, then that's what you'll do. But if you don't want to lock everybody out, it helps with the spammers. Plus, if you got to report somebody that keeps jumping on your channel talking poop and just being problematic, because I get harassed by my kids and their friends. I'm just going to say that much. So, one of them came back the other day and changed their last name. So, anyway, and so if they are subbed and they harass you on there, then it's easier to lock them out. So, but it won't let them comment unless they're a subscriber. Plus, it increases your subscribing rate. I got a friend of mine that does lives all the time for hours at a time, just talking about whatever, okay? They talk about whatnot, they talk about all kinds of different stuff. And it's him and a girl, and they're really funny. And the only thing he runs on his live is, the only thing he runs on his live is subscribers only mode. And I was like, what the hell? You got a sub on this guy to comment on his vlog or watch his vlog. And so what it does, it just knocks down a lot of the bull crap. You know, where you get these people advertising sex on the channel. And I've seen them on other people's channels, the same ones that do it to me. I think what they do is they hit everything that's going live and start jumping away, putting their trash on there for click on this for free sex stuff or whatever. Um, and I think that's what they do, you know, and they're just spamming trash up. Plus, I don't appreciate it because that's not what my channel's about. It's not about, you know, sex and selling booty and all that kind of stuff. There's people that do that, and that's their living and that's their business. But that's not what my channel's about. And you know, I get some people that get real nasty and go, oh, well, showgirls did a, or I had one that I was a sub of, this girl, Jennifer Vaughn, that has AIDS. I was a sub of her channel, listening to her wonderful stories. I had a friend of mine who just passed away that had AIDS, and for like 30 years. And I was on her channel one day, and then she goes, but you're a, what did she say? You're a trans, right? And I'd been on this girl's channel for like 6 months, commenting away on the one that got her to go on the lives. And she would never do that. And finally she went on the lives. And you know, she's a school teacher in California. And, you know, she's got some teenagers and stuff, Canadian boyfriend. And this wench, right after a comment that I had made, she said, well, so, but you're trans, right? And that just totally insulted me. What if I was a trans? You know? I mean, that's not even nice, you know? I mean, I got friends that are gay on YouTube and gay and married. And that's their life. But they're still my friends. But I wouldn't make fun of them. Yeah, right. And yeah. And I mean, it hurt my feelings. I was like, you witch. And then right after that comment, it was like all these people started flying to my channel talking nasty sex stuff and things. And it got really bad. And I'm like, oh, great. You know, now I'm going to flood of trash from her channel that are harassing me. So, that hurt my feelings, man. And I did a vlog about it, too. That was really tacky. I mean, why would you say something like that to a sub? If somebody is, you know, carried along with your channel for months and, you know, stood behind you and everything and helped you, with YouTube, and then turn around and say something strange like that off the wall. So she was either convinced that I'm a real trans. She was joking. What is that? You know what I mean? And what would that have to do with me as a person if I was? I'm not a trans. I'm a chick. I'm 100% all-American freaking factory parts. Okay? So, you know, I'm not a trans, but again, what if I was? I have some friends that are trans, but I'm not, you know, out there making fun of them. I accept them for who they are. You know, what you do in your bed is your business. But if you're nice to me, I'm nice to you. I like you for whoever you are, whether you're ugly, pretty, short, tall, skinny, you know, Polish, you know, Japanese. I don't care. I love people. So, you know, I just, yeah. Yeah, that, if you do that subs only mode, you can knock out a whole bunch of trash. And you can set a timer on it too. They have to be a sub for 1 minute, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, and all that. The only problem is, if you set the timer on it, if you have somebody that's could be really worth it to you, or they're good at tipping on YouTube, it would be a bit offensive if they, you know, had to wait 5 minutes before they could make a comment or tip you. You know what I mean? I don't get much trash. Yeah, I'll tell you who gets a ton of it is Inspirational Nomad. And then Baby and them, they get a lot of it, and they leave it on there. When people comment about their sex channel and all that, leaving links. And I'm like, dude, you don't let them advertise for free on your channel. Make them pay you. You know? But yeah, if they sub, it's easier to really slam them, especially legally, if they're trashing your channel up. You know, or internet harassment. So, um, yeah, um, but yeah, that's a really cool things, and you can do it on live on the computer too. If you're doing a live on your phone, you can go to the computer and go adjust it while you're on the live. If you're running your computer and your phone, I've been doing that a little bit lately. I don't even know if that's legal for monetization because they say you're not supposed to watch your own videos. But uh, so I don't know. But yeah, you can go on the computer while your phone is running on the live, and you can go adjust it in there in your settings for the vlog, and make sure your monetization's rolling. Because a lot of times mine flips off on my phone. I'll set it, and then all of a sudden, you know, I'll do 3 or 4 hour vlog, and that sucker's dead. It wasn't even on the monetization for some reason. So now I've learned how to go in there, from a separate unit, like my computer or whatever, and make sure it's on or whatever. But I forgot the last couple times to put that sub-only mode on. It really kills a lot of the trash, especially like when you're doing the auction stuff. A friend of mine does auctions, and she has sub-only mode when she does auctions. I said, man, that's a great idea. Because when Bearded Picker does his auctions with his buddies live on YouTube on Tuesdays, he gets all kinds of garbage up on there. And people just yap away, and it's so hard to follow the bid because there's so much junk talking on there. But yeah, and plus you don't get like a bunch of little kids on there talking poop, because they talk about keyboard warriors, but I think a lot of it's just people's kids, and they just get on stuff and just start rattling away, and they're just young and think it's funny, just like when we used to call people up and tell them, do you got Sir Walter Raleigh in the can? Okay, let him out. You got peanut butter and jelly? Make a sandwich. But yeah, just do all that stupid stuff, playing on the telephone. Call information of the operator and ask him how to do a problem on your homework. That was the coolest one. That's what information was for. Is like, hey, before they charge for it, you just call information up and go, hey, what is 48 divided by 5? And they would sit there and explain it to you. It was really cool. But it's gonna be a baker today, I'm gonna tell you. I think it's about 85 or 90 right now. Whew. But anyway, I gotta go get started for the day. I'm glad you guys come to hang out. Thank you for the thumbs ups. I got 2 already. But do check out that if you're going live, and you can set it before your live comes up. You can set it during your live, and you can set it right as you are going live. But it's right there, back there where it says chat on, monetization on, and then it says sub only mode, and you just slide that sucker over, and only the subs can talk. And then if anybody comes to your channel, it forces them to sub you, because like on my channel, like 80% of the people on my channel are not subs. And it'd be nice if a lot of those people would sub me. I'm subbed to so many people now, it's ridiculous. Before, I only wanted a few. And I just sub everybody that's great on YouTube, man, to help them. And, it makes the world go round. But anyway. Yeah, most people don't sub. Yeah, I mean, if you look at your stuff, it'll tell you. It'll be like, 70 or 80% of the people that watch your videos don't sub. And you get a huge amount of views. Have you guys been watching that guy in the Ghost Town Living? I feel like he's a 15-year-old little kid because he does some really crazy crap. Especially all this climbing and mine thing. And it's so dangerous. He's not any kind of rock climber or anything, and he doesn't know anything about all that stuff. And it's like, oh my God, you know. He just did one that I watched today where he went down, a huge mine shaft. It was already blocked off, and he unblocks it and goes in there, and it's nothing but straight down, and on a little bitty rope. And Mother of God, I'm like, I don't think this guy realizes that he could hit bottom and be a quadriplegic, you know. But at least he brought somebody with him this time. Craziness. But interesting channel, though. It's to the point where it's getting so ridiculous with all the risks he takes that I'm wondering if he's just doing it for YouTube. It kind of bothers me because I thought he was pretty sincere at first. So, I don't know, but I can't wait to go over there. I want to go back to Cerro Gordo. That would be fun. But anyway, I hope you guys have a great day. I gotta go do some shopping and stuff and errands, and I'm running late to work. But anyway, I hope it's a fun and profitable day for everybody, including myself. Hey, I love you guys. Thanks for coming by.